Hollywood has seen the rise and fall of many legendary actresses, some who shined brightly and others whose careers were tragically cut short. While some of these names may be instantly recognizable, you might not have realized they are no longer with us. From Raquel Welch, who captivated audiences in Fantastic Voyage, to Brittany Murphy, the unforgettable Ty Frasier in Clueless, here are 25 actresses who left us too soon. Lisa Robin Kelly, 1970 to 2013. Lisa Robin Kelly may not be a household name, but fans of that 70s show will remember her as Lori Foreman, Eric's sharp-tongued and mischievous older sister. Her wit and charisma made her a standout, but behind the scenes, her real-life story was far from a sitcom fairy tale. Lisa's career started with a 1992 appearance on Married with Children, but it was that 70s show that propelled her into fame. Her abrupt departure midway through season 3 left fans puzzled. The show explained Lori's absence by saying she had left for beauty school. However, the truth was far more troubling. In 2013, Lisa publicly announced she was seeking help and voluntarily checked into rehab. Tragically, just days later, she passed away in her sleep at the facility at the age of 43. Her publicist shared that she was optimistic about the future, making her untimely death all the more heartbreaking. Marcia Wallace, 1942 to 2013. If you grew up watching classic sitcoms or spent your Sunday nights with The Simpsons, you've undoubtedly heard Marcia Wallace's voice, even if you didn't know her by name. She first won hearts as Carol Kester, the quick-witted receptionist on The Bob Newhart Show. Later, she became a familiar face on Full House as Mrs. Carruthers. But her most famous role, the unforgettable Edna Krabappel, Bart Simpson's hilariously cynical teacher. Her performance on The Simpsons was so iconic that it earned her an Emmy Award in 1992. Her loss hit fans and colleagues hard. The Simpsons executive producer Al Jean called her beloved by all and announced that the show would retire Edna Krabappel's character out of respect. However, in 2021, Marcia's voice returned to The Simpsons one final time using archival recordings, as the show paid tribute to Edna in a heartfelt farewell episode. Heather O'Rourke, "They're Here," a line forever etched in horror history, delivered by the angelic-faced Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Ann Freeling in the Poltergeist films. Her chilling performance made her an icon of supernatural cinema. But behind the scenes, her own story turned into an unthinkable tragedy. In 1987, Heather suddenly fell ill. What seemed like a simple case of the flu was misdiagnosed as Crohn's disease, leading doctors to prescribe cortisone injections. Unbeknownst to them, she was actually suffering from an undiagnosed intestinal stenosis, a fatal condition that blocked her intestines. Her sudden death sent shockwaves through Hollywood, fueling chilling rumors of a poltergeist curse, as other cast members also met untimely deaths. But one thing remains certain: Heather O'Rourke's talent and unforgettable screen presence will forever live on. Dana Hill. You may not instantly recognize her name, but if you watched movies and TV in the 80s, you definitely saw Dana Hill. She stole scenes in Mork and Mindy, Magnum P.I., and famously played Audrey Griswold in National Lampoon's European Vacation. When her live-action roles faded, she found a second home in voice acting, lending her talent to cartoons like Rugrats and Sonic the Hedgehog. But behind her youthful on-screen image was a secret battle. Dana had type 1 diabetes, which stunted her growth and kept her looking like a teenager well into adulthood. While it gave her an edge in Hollywood, it also slowly destroyed her health. Her mother later admitted that Dana had a fierce spirit, except when it came to taking care of herself. She had fought for everything in life, but she gave up on her own health. Erin Moran. For an entire generation, Erin Moran was the ultimate girl next door. As Joni Cunningham on Happy Days, she was America's sweetheart. But what happens when the lights fade and the industry moves on? After Happy Days ended, Erin struggled to find work. She landed occasional guest roles in The Love Boat and Diagnosis Murder, but her days as a leading star were over. By 2010, she had lost her California home and was living in a trailer park in Indiana. Tabloids painted a grim picture. She was reportedly battling substance abuse, financial ruin, and personal struggles. By 2012, she and her Happy Days co-stars won a $60,000 lawsuit over unpaid merchandise royalties, but it barely made a dent in her troubles. The once bright star who had brought so much joy to audiences was gone, leaving behind a legacy of fame, struggle, and a life that deserved a better ending. Lynn Thigpen. Lynn Thigpen was at the peak of her career, juggling multiple roles and earning accolades when tragedy struck. In March 2003, while starring in The District, she unexpectedly passed away at home. Initially, the cause of death was unknown. She had seemed perfectly healthy. However, it was later revealed that she had suffered a cerebral hemorrhage. Reports indicated she had been experiencing severe headaches in the days leading up to her passing. Her sudden loss sent shockwaves through Hollywood and among fans who had grown up watching her. To honor her legacy, the Lynn Thigpen Bobo Lewis Foundation was established in 2005, ensuring that her incredible contributions to the arts would never be forgotten. Mary Pat Gleason. Mary Pat Gleason was the kind of actress whose name might not ring a bell immediately, but her face and performances were impossible to forget. With an extraordinary talent for turning even the smallest roles into something special, she left her mark on countless TV shows. She appeared in Full House, Dear John, Murphy Brown, Empty Nest, LA Law, Saved by the Bell, Friends, Step by Step, and many more. Beyond acting, she was also a gifted writer. Most recently, fans adored her as Mary, the AA regular on CBS's Mom, where her character's hilarious stories made her a fan favorite. However, in a heartbreaking twist, her character was suddenly written off the show, dying from a brain aneurysm. Just months later, in June 2020, Gleason herself passed away at age 70 after battling uterine cancer. Despite her health struggles, she remained dedicated to her craft. Elizabeth Pena. Elizabeth Pena was one of those rare talents who could completely disappear into any role. Acting was not about fame for her. It was about passion, and it showed in every performance. She had an uncanny ability to connect with her fellow actors, a trait evident when she first met Richard Dreyfuss. Their chemistry was so natural that she soon landed a supporting role in Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Throughout her career, Pena shined in films like La Bamba, Tortilla Soup, Lone Star, and Rush Hour. Her role as Gloria's mother in Modern Family was another standout, proving her ability to blend humor with heart. Her passing on October 14, 2014, at just 55 years old, was a devastating loss. Initially reported as natural causes, later findings revealed gastrointestinal bleeding and cirrhosis of the liver due to alcohol consumption as contributing factors. A powerhouse performer, Pena left behind a legacy of unforgettable performances that continued to captivate audiences. Kelly Preston. Kelly Preston lit up the screen in everything from romantic comedies to heartfelt dramas. She began her career with an appearance on Hawaii Five-0 in 1980, but it was her role in the comedy Mischief that made her a household name. Over the years, she stole scenes in Jerry Maguire, playing Tom Cruise's fiery girlfriend, and The Cat in the Hat, where she embodied the quintessential on-screen mom. Off-screen, she found lasting love with John Travolta. The couple met on the set of The Experts in 1989, got engaged on New Year's Eve in 1991, and built a beautiful life together. Kelly continued to act in later years, even starring alongside Travolta in the 2018 biopic Gotti. Her final film, Off the Rails, was released in the UK in July 2021. However, before the film's release, in July 2020, her family revealed she had quietly battled breast cancer for 2 years before passing away. She chose to keep her illness private, focusing on her loved ones and her craft until the very end. Helen McCrory. She was Draco Malfoy's fierce and protective mother, the sharp-witted Polly Gray in Peaky Blinders, and an unforgettable presence on both screen and stage. Helen McCrory brought a rare intensity to every role, whether in his Dark Materials, The Queen, or acclaimed theater productions like Uncle Vanya and Medea. But in April 2021, the world was devastated when her husband, actor Damian Lewis, announced that Helen had passed away from cancer at just 52 years old. Fans were stunned, She had kept her illness completely private, continuing to work through treatments, even filming scenes for Peaky Blinders' 6th season until the very end. Her death was a massive loss to the acting world, but her legacy as a powerhouse performer will live on forever. Skye McCole Bartusiak. As Mel Gibson's daughter in The Patriot, Skye McCole Bartusiak won hearts with her emotional depth and talent. She shared the screen with Hollywood greats in The Cider House Rules and Don't Say a Word, proving herself to be a rising star. But behind the scenes, Skye was silently struggling. On July 19, 2014, at just 21 years old, she was found unresponsive in the garage apartment of her parents' home. Her mother performed CPR for 45 minutes, desperately trying to revive her. Initially, her family suspected her epileptic seizures had played a role, but the truth was more heartbreaking. A toxicology report revealed she had died from a lethal mix of painkillers and muscle relaxers, shocking those who had believed she was healthy and free from substance abuse. Her tragic passing was a stark reminder of how fragile life can be, even for the brightest young talents. Dominique Dunne. The 1982 horror classic Poltergeist became legendary, but it also earned a sinister reputation, the Poltergeist curse, due to the eerie tragedies that befell its cast. One of the most heartbreaking was the fate of Dominique Dunne, who played Dana Freeling. Before Poltergeist, Dominique was already making a name for herself, starring in Chips, Fame, and The Quest. But her rising career was tragically cut short the very year the film was released. She had been in a violent relationship with chef John Thomas Sweeney, whose jealousy and abuse escalated to a horrifying level. In October 1982, after an argument, Sweeney attacked Dominique outside her Hollywood home, strangling her until she was unconscious. She was rushed to the hospital and placed on life support, but 5 days later, she was gone, just 22 years old. Her death sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Though Sweeney was convicted of voluntary manslaughter, he served less than 4 years in prison, sparking outrage. Dominique's story remains one of the most devastating losses in Hollywood history. Kathryn Joosten. Some actors find fame early, but Kathryn Joosten took a different path. Before becoming one of TV's most beloved character actors, she worked as a psychiatric nurse. Then, in her 40s, she took a leap of faith and pursued acting. And it paid off. She landed roles on almost every hit show of the 90s and 2000s. Roseanne, Seinfeld, Frasier, The X-Files, Gilmore Girls, Will and Grace, and Grey's Anatomy. Fans adored her as the sharp-tongued neighbor Karen McCluskey on Desperate Housewives, a role that earned her 2 Emmy Awards. But behind the scenes, Kathryn was fighting a battle of her own. In 2001, she was diagnosed with lung cancer. Despite her illness, she continued acting, even incorporating her real-life struggle into Desperate Housewives. In a heartbreaking twist, her character also died of cancer in the show's finale, just 20 days before Kathryn herself passed away at 72. Her journey from nurse to Hollywood star was an inspiration, proving it's never too late to chase your dreams. Judith Barcy. She was the voice behind Ducky in The Land Before Time and Anne-Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven. A rising young star who could have had an incredible career. But behind her joyful performances, Judith Barcy was living in a real-life nightmare. Her father, Joseph Barcy, was an abusive alcoholic who became increasingly volatile as her success grew. He threatened to kill her and her mother multiple times, once even holding a knife to Judith's throat. Despite her mother's attempts to get help, authorities did not intervene. Then, on July 25, 1988, the unthinkable happened. Joseph shot and killed 10-year-old Judith and her mother before taking his own life. Just months later, The Land Before Time was released, featuring Judith's sweet, innocent voice as Ducky, a performance that would warm the hearts of millions, even though she never got to see it herself. Her final words in All Dogs Go to Heaven now hold an eerie weight. Goodbye, I love you. Jo Sperber. Jo Sperber was a comedic powerhouse, best known for her roles in I Wanna Hold Your Hand, Bachelor Party, and the beloved sitcom Bosom Buddies, where she played Amy, the only one in on Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari's hilarious disguise. Many will also remember her as Marty McFly's sister, Linda, in Back to the Future. Despite being diagnosed with breast cancer in 1997, she continued acting, making memorable appearances in Will and Grace and Grounded for Life. She also founded the Westpark Cancer Support Center, helping families navigate the challenges of cancer. Joe Sperber passed away in 2005 at just 46, but her impact lives on. Raquel Welch. More than just an actress, Raquel Welch was a cultural phenomenon. Her role in 1,000,000 Years BC, with that unforgettable fur bikini, made her a household name, even though she had only a few lines in the film. She went on to star in Fantastic Voyage, The Three Musketeers, winning a Golden Globe, and Right to Die. Beyond the silver screen, she became a television favorite and a symbol of elegance. Welch passed away on February 15, 2023, at the age of 82, leaving behind a legendary career. Charlby Dean. Charlby Dean was a South African model and actress who started her career young, signing with an agency at just 12 years old. After making her mark in the Spud films, she transitioned to Hollywood, appearing in Black Lightning before landing a leading role in Triangle of Sadness, which won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Tragically, shortly after the film's release, she succumbed to bacterial sepsis at just 32. Her passing was worsened by a prior spleen removal, leaving fans heartbroken over the loss of a promising star. Michelle Thomas. Michelle Thomas captured audiences as Justine Phillips on The Cosby Show, and later as the sweet and devoted Myra Monkhouse on Family Matters. She also appeared in The Young and the Restless, along with music videos for Boys I Men and Mint Condition. However, behind the scenes, she was battling a rare cancer, desmoplastic small round cell tumor. Despite undergoing multiple surgeries, she passed away at just 30 years old in 1998.